Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. Thank you very much for joining us today on this very interesting session on company incorporation. Can you first of all please confirm if you can hear me loud and clear? If you can, just type in the questions box that you can. Thank you. Yes, I can see that. Great. Thank you very much. Thank you. A very important session, and I think it was very evident by the number of registrations we had for this session that this subject is close to your hearts also, close to the hearts of many accountants. So there were about 850 individuals who were interested in attending this session, and that's going to be an interesting fact that you can probably add to your credit.
Yeah.
Okay. Today we have with us a speaker from SECP. Her name is Azka Amin. I will very quickly introduce her to you and some housekeeping measures, and after which we'll straight away hand over to Azka to run a presentation. The program for today is such that for the first half an hour to 45 minutes, Azka is going to run you through a presentation, after which we will have a rather prolonged question and answer session. So keep all your questions ready. You can start sending your questions even now, but I would suggest you wait for Azka to finish her presentation. That way, most of your answers will probably already be addressed. But even afterwards, if you have any questions to ask her, you are more than welcome. So we begin with Azka's introduction. Full name is Azka Amin, and she's been associated with SECP, she said, for the past 7 years.
Yeah.
And with a diverse educational background of being a software engineer, and when I was reading her profile, I said a software engineer, and then a Master's of International Business and Marketing and working at SECP. That's a unique thing. Normally we see accountants and people who are into mainly companies, business, and then going into it. Software engineers, a very different species, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, and she's the ability to effectively communicate with corporate professionals, yielding efficient and positive outcomes. So thank you very much for joining us, Azka. You are today going to speak with ACCA members and abundant in numbers. ACCA members, I must very briefly tell you, are they have passed the ACCA qualification, having passed 14 exams, 3 years of experience, and have passed the ethics module also. The average age of ACCA members in Pakistan is about 30 years, which means they're very, very young. Okay. And that is sort of a dividend that ACCA enjoys in Pakistan. That also indicates that most of them are in their middle career positions, while some senior members are also in senior positions. The ones that you see sitting here today, as I was talking to you earlier, they're the ones who are being trained in the 6 digits program.
Okay.
Some of the people, because the office timing could not join us here, have joined us through webinar as well. And other than that, at the moment, there are about 200 individuals who are online at the moment.
Okay.
So the session is being recorded, and every question that is submitted, the answers that you will be giving, they'll all be able to be made a part of the record and will be available to you, to all the participants to refer to afterwards.
Okay.
So with that brief introduction, I'll switch over to housekeeping. Very easy. If you have any questions to ask, type in the questions dialog box, and we'll pick up on your questions one by one. No need for repeat questions. We'll try to avoid duplication. We'll again suggest that if you can hold on to your questions till the time Azka is done with her presentation, that would be the best. That way she not have to go back to things that she would have explained in the presentation. The presentation, Azka, with your permission, do you suggest that we should be able to deck? Are you okay with it?
Yeah, that's okay.
Since this is your intellectual property, it's a sort of a procedure that okay. So we'll share the presentation with all of you, and also the video recording of the session will be available afterwards. With that, I will hand over to Azka, and she will take us through her presentation. Azka, over to you.
Thank you very much. Um, I'm here to talk today about the formation of company under the Company Act 2017. First of all, let me give you all a brief introduction to SECP. Securities and Exchange Commission of Pakistan. It is an apex regulatory body in the country to regulate the corporate sector and the capital market with the aim to ensure transparency and efficiency in the functioning of its financial markets. One of the main functions of SECP is to incorporate companies under the Companies Act 2017. That is the main topic of today's presentation. Next slide, please. The main functions of SECP include an administration of company law, the Companies Act 2017, incorporation of new companies and their regulations, regulation of securities market division and related institutions, regulation of insurance sector and administration of insurance law, regulation of NBFCs, non-banking finance companies, such as leasing companies, investment banks, etc., regulation of pension funds and administration of voluntary pension systems rules, registration regulation of LLP, also known as limited liability partnerships under the LLP Act 2017. Next. SECP was established under the Securities and Exchange Commission of Pakistan Act 1997. Previously, it was known as Corporate Law Authority, and a body corporate having adequate operational, administrative, and financial autonomy is the main status of SECP. Its head office is located in Islamabad, and other regional offices exist in Karachi, Islamabad, Lahore, Multan, Peshawar, Faisalabad, Quetta, Sakkar, and Gilgit. Now, what is a company? A company is a legal entity formed by a person or association of persons for a lawful purpose, and that is registered under the Companies Act 2017. It has following distinct characteristics. It has limited liability, means the liability of members are limited to the extent of their shareholding in the company. It is a separate legal entity, and it has perpetual succession. The word company can be only used for a body or business that is registered under the Companies Act 2017, or previously it was Companies Ordinance 1984. Mere use of the word company or corporation does not mean that every business is registered with SECP. It has to get exclusively registered through SECP. What are the benefits of corporatization? It is a distinct legal entity considered separate from its members. It enjoys limited liabilities and protect your personal assets. It gives you an elevated entity status that is more credible as compared to other forms of doing business like sole proprietorship or partnership. It has a long life with perpetual succession. It works under defined legal framework, have easy transferable property, ownership shares, becomes a part of documented and regulated economy, and enhances credibility with responsibility and accountability. You can enjoy a better access to capital markets, and it helps in raising funds easily. Now moving to the types of companies. There are multiple types. First, we have a single member company that has minimum only one member, one director, and every director has to be a shareholder. Then moving on to private limited companies. A private company should have at least 2 members and 2 directors that can go up to a maximum limit of 50 members. It has restriction on the transfer of shares and restriction on raising funds from the public. Public unlisted companies, they should have at least 3 members and 3 directors, and there's no maximum limit on the number of members, and there is free transferability of shares. Then we have foreign companies that is actually registered outside Pakistan, but they get their branch office registered in Pakistan through SEC. A public listed company that has at least 7 members and 7 directors, there's no maximum limit of number of members. They raise funds through public and listing on stock exchange, and there is free transferability of shares. Then we have associations, foundations that are non-profit organizations. These are licensed entities. They have to get their license either through SECP's head office in case they are being registered under Section 42, or if they get their, on basis of their proposed business, they get their name reserved as trade organization. In that case, they have to get their license from Directorate General Trade Organizations. Now we move on to the company incorporation process. It is majorly a 2-step process that first involves reservation of name and then moving on to company registration. The Regulation 3 of Company Incorporation Regulation 2017 states that a person desirous of forming a company shall have option to apply for company name reservation either through separate application, that is both online and offline mode available, through a combined application, that is a combined module that includes name reservation and company incorporation at the same time. The prescribed form for filing name reservation application is Incorporation Form 1. The specimen is provided in Company Incorporation Regulation 2017, and it has an online filing fee of ₹200. In case of offline filing, the fee is for name reservation is for ₹500. An applicant may propose up to 3 names of his choice in the order of priority in the application along with their significance. Name shall be reserved for the period of 60 days from the date of reservation. Now, the conditions that are applicable in case of name reservation is the Section 10 of Companies Act states that the name should not be identical or it should not closely resemble with an already registered company name. It should not be inappropriate, undesirable, or deceptive, and it should not be designed to exploit or offend the religious susceptibilities of the people. A guide with name of availability of name is available on SECP's website, where you can get the detailed information about the list of prohibited words or names that are allowed with certain conditions. You can refer to Regulation 4 of Companies Incorporation Regulations 2017 for further guidance. Before applying for name, the proposed name can be checked from the website or SECP's portal using the search facility. Regulation 5 of Company Incorporation Regulation states that an application for incorporation. Now, these are the list of documents that are required in case of offline filing of for company incorporation. Under Regulation 5, 2 of Company Incorporation Regulation 2017, a memorandum of association is required that is in conformity with Table B, C, D, or E of First Schedule of Companies Act 2017. You can also check the samples available at SECP's website for your guidance. Articles were required for a company limited by shares can be either you can get the articles from a website, or you can simply adopt Table A. Then you have to fill in incorporation form 2 with all the information related to authorized capital, paid up capital, directors, subscribers, chief executives, and it also includes the registered office address of the company. You also have to attach the valid copy of CNICs of all directors, subscribers, witness, and nominee in case of single member company. Nominee is only required in case it is a single member company. Otherwise, you don't have to fill in the requirements. Authority letter on stamp paper of requisite value duly notarized has to be provided in case of physically filing of application for company incorporation. Copy of name reservation letter already issued, or you can also attach an email in case of acceptance of name reservation and paid fee challan. Online company incorporation process. Okay, first of all, you have to go to our website secp.gov.pk and go to e-services. It will be a short tutorial to help you go through the procedure of actually filing the form. Sign in through this, enter your CNIC and login details and log in. Next slide, please. Here you actually have to enter your ID and password and create a sign up. This is the signing in form. You have to fill in all the CNIC details. Please ensure that the details are correct. Once entered, it won't be changed later on. Only one CNIC is used to create one login, and every login, let's say if I create a login by my name, I sign in that module. All the companies in which I'm having a directorship, they will be listed in that login ID. Okay, after signing in, you can see that there are different list of processes. First, there's name reservation, and then you'll also have an option of combined name reservation and incorporation. First, I'll go make you go through the separate module for company name reservation, and then second step of company incorporation, and then we'll go to combined module for company incorporation. Here you have to fill in all three proposed company name reservation options on the basis of your priority, and then select the relevant principal activity. Please ensure that as per Section 26 of Companies Act, the name should commensurate with the business line of the company. And the company name should also include the business name in it. Let's say if you are proposing a name for the business of trading, then you should include a word like traders or import, impacts, some related name for it. Please fill in the complete details of significance column as well, in case there is a link of the company with already registered entity, or they usually we get applications in which we are given a reference that they are working as an unregistered entity for like so and so years. So they provide the proof of their already existence, and then the name is reserved. Okay, now and then you have to select the relevant payment module and save the form. Here you can see there's a option for update of form data. Whenever you're given an opportunity to amend the name, you can go to the update form data and change the name as desired. In case you want to attach any specific attachment you can do that, and then you have to sign in forms and submit the process. After submission, you have to go to the submitted process list and take a printout of the challan form and submit in the pay the challan in the branch selected. And then you will be communicated via email whether your name has been accepted, rejected, or it is in further issue resolution state for some clarification. Now, step 2 for company registration. Here, after the name reservation, you will see that you have available process of company incorporation. Please enter in that module. You can see that it will already be including the name that is that has been reserved by you, and then you can enter the registered office address and the correspondence address. For some cases, the companies have not yet obtained a proper address for the company, so they provide a correspondence address that and then within incorporation of within the incorporation of company 30 days you have to file for a registered office address. You have to file form 21 to report the new registered office address of the company. Here you can see that you have to again select the principal line of activity, and please ensure the selected principal activity should match with the company name as well as the memorandum that is drafted by the company. Its main object clause should represent what is according. It should include the principal activity that was selected at the time of filing of the form. Like I already mentioned, if you select the activity for trading, then you should mention that in your memorandum that the company will be undergoing the activity of trading, import, export. This is the capital structure for the company. You can see here the class and kind of shares is required. If the class is not, you have not selected a separate class like preference shares, then you just have to fill in ordinary here. Then we move on to authorized capital structure. The authorized capital structure is actually the upper limit that you set for the company that you'll be investing in the company. It is the upper limit, okay. And then you have to fill in the number of shares and the face value as well. This special business column is filled in case there's a specialized business or the company is a licensed entity. At the next table, you can see that you have to fill in the subscriber and director details. Here you have to enter the name CNIC, and please ensure that you enter the name, father name, all the particulars of director subscribers exactly as per CNICs. Also in the type, as you can see under the director subscriber table, you can see there's an option for type. You have to select whether the person is a subscriber or he's also a director and chief executive. Please ensure if you select a person to be a director of the company, he should also be a shareholder in the company as well, unless he's representing some other subscriber company. In that case, he doesn't have to be himself be a shareholder. In this declarant column, if the form is being signed by the director, you have to enter his name and apply signatures. And you can also see there's a option for authorized intermediary. Authorized intermediary are those persons that are registered with SECP through the intermediary regulations. If you are applying as an intermediary, you have to select this and enter your intermediary number as well. Next. Okay. Once you fill in the form, you can update the form through this list and view the company profile as well. And in the attachment form, you can attach any extra supporting documents if you want. In articles of association, you have to attach the articles. You can adopt table A, and Otherwise, if you have to make any changes, you can attach in there. And then in attachment of memorandum, you have to attach the memorandum and resubmit the process. Again, in list of submitted processes, you have to take a printout of 4 challans and submit in the selected bank. After the verification of challan, we receive the process after verification, and then if the company is incorporated, you will get an incorporation certificate with a complete set of documents that include a company registration certificate, incorporation form, and a certified copy of memorandum articles. In case there's an issue, it will also be communicated to you through an email as well. Okay, now let me make you go through an online combined company incorporation process. You have to go to that process through this combined module. You can see previously you entered separately for name reservation 3 options, and then separately went for the company incorporation. Here you can see that you are at one time filling in the details of all 3 options of name reservation. And next you can see that you are selecting a principal activity. Whatever principal activity you will select here, an auto system generated memorandum will be generated through this selection. Let's say, as we were discussing about trading, we'll select a principal activity of trading. Auto generated system memorandum will be generated. That will and you can also see the main clause in this text box. In case you notice that this is not your relevant activity, you can select some other principal activity from the drop-down menu that suits your requirements. Select the payment details, that is bank challan, online bank transfer, or via check. And then you can see then there is an option for table A adoption. In case you select it, then a memorandum article will be generated system based. And please ensure that in case it's a private company or a public company, there's a separate article selection for that. And in case it's a single member company, you have to select separately for that. Which one is that? Can you please? You have to fill in the complete property details. As you may know that with company registration, you also will be issued a free of cost NTN through FPR. So at the time of filing for company incorporation, you also fill in the details of accounting period. Usually for the period ending 30th June, you have to select the accounting period of 3rd quarter. And we have you have to select the property very wisely, because the NTN will be generated accordingly. Here, as discussed previously, these are the details for the correspondence address and the registered office address. You can provide either of the two. And for holding at the bottom, you can see there's a requirement for holding company. That is for in case there is a holding company. Otherwise, you can leave it blank. Yes, you have to select the principal activity as discussed, and then you can see accounting period, that is to be selected 3rd quarter. At the top, you can see the authorized capital details are mentioned. The benefit of this combined process is that you have to fill in the authorized capital details and the CNIC details Mainly you have to fill in the subscriber table column where you are putting in all the CNIC details and the shareholding of each member, and then the paid up capital and memorandum will be populated automatically. You can see you have entered the details of chief executive here, and then director and subscribers are separately mentioned with their shareholding as well. The paid up capital is auto calculated when you fill in the above mentioned form. You enter the declarant details and continue the process. In this update data form, you can check what you have filled in the form, and in case you need to make any correction, you can update that form. Okay. If your name is not yet reserved, you can see that you have an option to view the company name reservation form and the application for company incorporation and update any attachment if needed. You have to go to the fill new bank challan form, save that form, but do not print the challan. Please note that people make this mistake very often, that they print challan before submission of process. That challan is not valid and it won't be verified. You have to print challan after submission of process. Save that challan, sign the forms, and the forms have to be signed by every director separately through their account. Move forward. Next, please. Here you have only have to attach any supporting document for name reservation as discussed earlier. Otherwise, you just have to save form. Even if it's a blank, you have not attached any document. Even then, you have simply have to save the form and submit it. Similarly, for this company incorporation form, you can simply view the form if there is any change needed, and then move on to submission of form. Here you have to attach the CNICs and any miscellaneous document if needed. Miscellaneous documents might include, for example, we have subscriber companies. So in that case, we need the board resolution of subscriber companies, their profile, and then there's an additional set of documents needed, but that is filed in hard form to the office, whether the company is being incorporated online or offline. Whenever any issue is communicated to you via email to either make changes in the name or in the company incorporation process, these list of documents will be available for you to update the form as required. This is the system generated memorandum in case of combined module. You can see here, in this sample, the city has been selected as Islamabad Capital Territory. For Lahore, you'll be selecting Punjab. And you can see for the engineering related memorandum, we have selected the activity related to engineering. And then the object clause 3.1, it is directly related to the name of the company. It includes the work related to engineering. Next. This is the form that you have filled already. You can see the total, these are individual shareholding details that you had entered, and this is then auto-populated in the paid-up capital box as well. Next, please. Now we can move on to signing in forms. These are the system-generated articles for the combined process. Again, for a separate company incorporation process, as I already mentioned, you have to separately draft memorandum and article and attach it in the process. Open the bank challan and save the form. This is the minimum fee that you can see for a minimum paid up capital of 1 lakh, minimum authorized capital of 1 lakh. The registration fees varies with the change in authorized capital. For an authorized capital of 1 lakh and below, the fee remains same. So you are advised to opt for a minimum 1 lakh authorized capital. Now sign in the forms. Here you can see that they mention that you have to sign in the form separately and enter the PIN code for each director of the company. You have to log in one by one from each director's login and then apply the PIN code to finally submit the process. Next. You can see that an alert is generated that you have to sign the forms by each director and you have to pay the fees in a requisite time period. Otherwise, the challan and the process is auto-deleted by the system. Now you can see once you have submitted the process, it will be available in the list of submitted processes. You have to go to that and generate a challan from that list of submitted processes. Here you have to open this. And you can print that challan. Previously, if you print the challan before submission, it will clearly state not for payment challan. This challan will be available for payment. Yeah, please, next. Now you can log out. Okay, on successful completion of the process, you will receive an email from SECP that your company has been incorporated, followed by an incorporation certificate by post. You'll get a picture of the incorporation certificate in the email as well, but to receive the documents, you have to bring in challan to get the set of documents from the office. Otherwise, you'll have to wait 5 working days to get it couriered. An email from FPR to the company and director's email containing login ID, password, and PIN is also generated for the NTN. That is a collaboration of FPR with SECP, that with company registration, you are provided a free of cost NTN. You can go to FPR website and then enter in the details provided to you through email to check the validity of your NTN. Okay. Upon fulfilling the requirements as mentioned, you will be given this. You can see a sample of a template of company registration certificate. It will have a company seal as well. The benefits of company incorporation process combined includes that it is a 2-in-1 process. It saves time of additionally filing of separate memorandum and article. It is a speedy process. Otherwise, if you separately file for name reservation, it will ideally it takes 4 working hours, and then incorporation process separately takes 4 ideally working hours. For a combined process, it is total, you get the process and application processed in 4 working hours. So the time is simply halved in this case. This application simply includes only attachment of CNICs, and the memorandum and articles are system generated as communicated before, and there is no rejection of name. In separate filing of name reservation, the fees is minimum of rupees 200. In combined modules, since there is the fee is more, so we don't simply reject the process. We give an opportunity to amend the name, even if the name is quite close to already registered companies. And there's no need to add primary users in the primary user e-services account. Now moving on to initiatives taken by SECP for promotion of corporate sector and facilitation of general public. That is, we have provided a very friendly environment, and we are always ready to facilitate. It is efficient, smooth, and swift services. Incorporation of companies have been made much easier. We are offering online as well offline system for easy company formation. Guidance to the public on personal visits and even on telephone calls are facilitated. Designated facilitation officers for guidance are available. Formation of facilitation desks at Salkot, Aptabad, and Gwadar have also been done. It has a nominal fee and automatic issuance of NTN after company incorporation is done. Interaction with professional bodies such as Chamber of Commerce and corporate sector through seminars, workshops, and meetings, etc., are being held on regular basis. Company formation desk at exhibitions, periodic facilitation desks in different cities and different forums are taking place. Our website clearly includes a company name search facility where you can check name availability at your own at the basic level, and all the laws, rules, instructions, regulations are readily available at our website. To provide further facilitation for end-of-user resources, FOQs were developed and placed on the SECP website. Moreover, we have also a query and complaint portal where you can launch any kind of queries as needed. Thank you very much. Now you're welcome for the questions. Yeah.
क्वेश्चन आपने कहा था इनिशियली कि अपने नेम के साथ बिजनेस नेम के साथ सीईओ या कंपनी लिखने का दैट डजंट मीन कि वो एक इनकॉर्पोरेटेड रजिस्टर्ड बिजनेस है. डज दैट मीन कोई भी बिजनेस जो है अपने नेम के साथ सीईओ या कंपनी का वर्ड ऐड कर सकता है विदाउट इनकॉर्पोरेटिंग बिजनेस एज अ रजिस्टर्ड कंपनी?
देखिए, इट्स नॉट लीगली अलाउड कि वो इस तरह रख सकते हैं. अगर हमारे एससीसीबी की नॉलेज में आ जाए, विल डेफिनेटली इंस्पेक्ट द बिजनेस एंड टेक एन एक्शन अगेंस्ट इट. अदरवाइज दैट वाज अ जेनेरिक. आई वाज टेलिंग के यूजुअली जो वैसे देखने में आता है कि बहुत सारे बिजनेस अनरजिस्टर्ड ऑपरेट कर रहे हैं, एंड दे वेरी रेडिली दे राइट कि वी आर प्राइवेट लिमिटेड कंपनी.
एससीसीपी जो अक्सर कंपनीज ने अपने साथ बिजनेस में लिखा होता है एंड को, उसको भी एज अ कंपनी ही परसीव करता है कि अगर वो लिख रहे हैं तो दे मस्ट बी रजिस्टर्ड एज कंपनी. अगर एबीसी एंड को है, दैट्स मीन कि अगर उन्होंने कंपनी रजिस्टर्ड करवा दिया ताकि वो अपने के साथ एबीसी एंड को
एससीसीपी से कंपनी रजिस्टर कराई है तो उसका प्रॉपर नाम लिखा होता है, एबीसी एंड को प्राइवेट लिमिटेड करके लिखा होता है. ठीक है. अगर अदरवाइज उसके लिख रहे हैं तो अगेन वही बात है कि लोग कुछ जनरल पब्लिक को डिसीव करने के लिए इस तरह लिख देते हैं. बट हमारा डेटा इजीली अवेलेबल है पब्लिक सर्च के लिए, तो दे कैन कम एंड चेक वेदर द कंपनी इज एक्चुअली रजिस्टर्ड और नॉट.
थैंक यू.
वेलकम.
for registration, is it necessary that we have a physical office space? Because just आजकल recently there is a trend कि लोग online या freelance कर सकते हैं, and given वो लोग अगर कोई register कराना चाहें अपने business को,
फिजिकल ऑफिस प्लेस का नहीं है एक्चुअली जो अब ट्रेंड है मोस्टली बिजनेस ऑनलाइन चल रहे हैं जिसका ये वो ई कॉमर्स के थ्रू हो रहा है वेबसाइट्स पे ही बिजनेस ऑपरेट कर रहे हैं तो उनमें फिर उस केस में अपना रेजिडेंशियल एड्रेस ही लोग दे देते हैं मगर आपको एक चीज इंश्योर करना है कि आप जब कंपनी एक रजिस्टर कर लेते हैं तो आपने उसका जो एड्रेस दिया उस एड्रेस पे कंपनी बोर्ड होना चाहिए
because वो एक requirement आपकी है ना specifically registered company office, तो then आप घर के बाहर क्या
वो पे आपके अपने फैसिलिटेशन अकॉर्डिंग है आप जिसका रजिस्टर एड्रेस दे रहे हैं वहाँ पे बोर्ड होना फिर जरूरी है
मतलब आपका ऑफिस नहीं है
Any other questions if you want to ask otherwise
regarding capital structure अभी जो हम लोग demonstration आपने वो regarding 1 lakh या अगर इससे further हम लोग ने करवा ली हो
वेबसाइट पे देयर इज अ फी कैलकुलेटर है वहाँ पे विद एन इंक्रीज इन कैपिटल यू कैन सी कि आपको जो भी कैपिटल रिक्वायरमेंट है उसके साथ आपको फीस बता देता है विद इंक्रीजिंग स्लैब लाइक 2 लाख पे जाएंगे फीस इंक्रीज हो जाती है 3 पे फर्दर
फीस टॉपिक लेकिन आपको कोई रिक्वायरमेंट है कि आप इससे ज्यादा कैपिटल जो है वो
नहीं कोई पता नहीं
आपने कहा कि नेम रिजेक्शन नहीं आती है
कंबाइंड मॉड्यूल में
कंबाइंड मॉड्यूल
जी
तो वो व्हाट इफ हमारा नेम रिसीविंग हो किसी और कंपनी के नाम
तो मैंने वही कहा ना आपको अमेंडमेंट की ऑप्शन दे देते हैं डायरेक्टली रिजेक्ट नहीं रिजेक्ट होना के टर्म है कि सिंपली रिग्रेट ही हो जाता है आपका प्रोसेस ठीक है अगर आपको अमेंड कर आपको हम ये अगर कम्युनिकेट करते हैं कि इसमें रिजेम्बलेंस है यू हैव टू चेंज द नेम दैट इज आपका वो वाला नेम रिफ्यूज हो जाता है मगर आपको अपॉर्चुनिटी दी जाती है कि आप अपना नाम अमेंड कर लें
सारा प्रोसेस दोबारा फॉलो
हाँ पूरा फॉलो नहीं करना पड़ता इस तरह जिसका कंबाइंड प्रोसेस है आपने मेजरली उसका अहमद ट्रेडर्स है तो अगर अहमद ट्रेडिंग ऑलरेडी है तो अब आप उसको अमेंड करेंगे तो या ट्रेडिंग वाला वर्ड चेंज करना है अहमद वाला करना है बिजनेस एक्टिविटी एंड एवरीथिंग वो तो सेम रहेगा सिर्फ नाम की हद तक ही चेंज करना है बाकी फॉर्म फिल ही नहीं रहेगा और जब आप नाम चेंज करेंगे कंबाइंड प्रोसेस में तो मेमोरेंडम आर्टिकल जो ऑटो जनरेट हुए हैं उस पर फिर नया नाम पॉपुलेट हो जाएगा
एनडीए क्रिएट हो जाता है
जी
वो सिर्फ डायरेक्टर्स का या कंपनी का अपना
कंपनी का भी होता है
डायरेक्टर्स और if they don't have
yeah
Okay, so now we switch on to questions asked online.
okay
People who are present online can ask their questions while we are answering the ones that have already been submitted one by one. So the first question is from Yasir Khan, who's saying, is there any difference between a member and a director?
a member is actually the shareholder in the company and the director has an additional power of acting as a director. Not every member has to be a director, but every director has to be a member of the company.
Then Naeem Malik is asking, is the authority letter for physical only? I mean, physical business only? I mean, I think this is the question that
Yeah,
both
that's the
levels
same
ask.
person.
I hope Naeem, you've got the answer already. Muhammad Moeen is saying, why is it so difficult to change limited company registered office?
Are they asking about the partnership?
Okay, Moeen, you'll have to elaborate your question. Are you asking about a partnership company? Let's see if he responds afterwards. We can go on to the next one. It says Hamza Rahman. He's asking, can we incorporate more than one companies in one login/CNIC?
Yes, you can. As I mentioned, when you also saw that when we entered in the login of one person, there were multiple processes available separately for name reservation and a combined process as well. Similarly, in case the same person was also directed in some other company, the company name would also be showing in that login. Once you log in, you enter your login and you are, let's say, directed in 5 companies, all 5 companies will be listed in that login.
Mayor Mujahid is saying, can you please tell us the company registration fee, which is once again a question that Dan Bola asked. Can you
Company
elaborate that again?
registration fee is directly proportionally linked with the authorized capital in the company. And for that, there is a nominal fee calculator and available at our website. You can enter the required authorized capital and then the fee will be generated accordingly.
Okay. So Zuhair Chaudhary is asking, when can we register for EOBI and Social Security?
When you fill in the company incorporation form, there are detailed requirements that are being entered. In case you select the option for the business to be a social security related business, the business is automatically registered as a social security. And even after incorporation, the regulatory body automatically communicates to you.
Hamza Rahman asking, can we manually add or change company's auto-generated memorandum?
Are they talking about the combined module?
Okay.
Auto-generated memorandum is only for the combined module, and you can't attach any other memorandum in that.
Okay. And that cannot be edited manually?
No, it's not.
How many days taken for incorporation after separation? What's the end
After verification of challan, the process is like examined and processed completely within 4 working hours. Ideally, if there are no errors, the company is completely incorporated within 4 hours.
Okay. Then Yasser Omer is asking, can we do multiple businesses with the same company name?
Yes, you can. In the memorandum, you can clearly see after the main object clause in the second, if you guys can go to the memorandums available, you can see after the main principal clause at the next para, there's clearly mentioned that you are allowed all the legal businesses. And then in the third para, there's also mentioned what are the licensed businesses and what are the prohibited ones.
Okay. The next question is, how much is the minimum paid up capital?
There's no clearly written requirement, but to be realistic, we see that for any business, some people like they mentioned that it will be 2 rupee for a business. So you have to at least be realistic. Otherwise, then there is no minimum requirement for paid up capital.
Muhammad Usman Rana is saying, I recently registered an SMC. Every time I tried adding NTN for director, it gave me an error. Why is it that? To be a specific issue.
Yeah, you can enter your query in the query portal on SECP's website.
Okay. Does company registration charges vary from industry to industry?
No, they don't vary from industry to industry, but for specialized business, like for the non-profit organizations, there's separate license fee and registration fee. For private public companies, the fee varies on the basis of authorized capital. But in case of non-profit companies, let's say we have a license fee of rupees 25,000. And in case of registration, in case of online registration, the fee is 25,000, and for offline, it is 50,000.
Then there's a question from Omar Said who's saying, can you provide a comparison of this process with forming a single member company?
Okay. There's only one difference, that is, as I mentioned, that you have to provide details of a nominee. Nominee would be a very close relative of the member of the company. He should be either among the parents or children, siblings, or spouse. Otherwise, the requirement for SMC are same as that of a private company.
Then Umar asks again, can you please provide an overview of some of the important forms, such as Form 1, Form 2, Form 29?
Form 1 and Form 29. Form 1 was previously, it was given as for declarant at time of company incorporation. And now currently it has been changed. Form 1 has been renamed as receipt of subscription money after company incorporation for a report of receipt of subscription money. If he's talking about that, it has to be filed after 45 days of company incorporation. And Form 29, previously Form 29 was filed at time of incorporation. Now that the complete Form 29 details of list of directors are filled in the incorporation Form 2. After that, in case of any change in directorship, the company has to file Form 29. It is no longer valid at the time of incorporation.
The next question is from Rohan Ahmed. He's saying KYC/CDD procedures and guidelines have recently been advised under FATF recommendation. What is SECP's role in implementing these recommendations?
I'll talk about that later. I don't know.
All right. Okay. Rohan, you can get an answer later from us. Muhammad Usman is saying, all right, he's saying you look good when you speak Urdu. Probably a little late for a comment.
Thank you.
Okay. Then there are a lot of people asking for the presentation. I have uploaded the presentation already as a handout, and you people can also get it from us. Those who are present online can download as before the end of the session. Otherwise, once we email the certificate of participation to all of you, there will be a link for the video recording as well as for the slide deck. It will be provided to all of you. Okay, Muhammad, I'm continuing with the questions. There are quite a lot of them still. Muhammad Muin is asking, limited liability company / unlisted public limited company. That's the first question he's asking. Should I go back to that question?
For the change in address?
Yes, about changes in the Muhammad Muin. Just take me a minute. Locate his previous question. Yes, here it is. Saying, why is it so difficult to change the limited company registered office? And he's saying that this is about limited company, unlisted / unlisted public limited company, both cases.
Okay. Limited liability company के केस में पार्टनरशिप डीड के अंदर भी एड्रेस दिया होता है, तो उसको भी अमेंड करना पड़ेगा और उसका सेपरेटली फॉर्म फाइल करना पड़ता है. यूजुअली प्राइवेट कंपनीज का सिर्फ फॉर्म 21 आता है. उनके केस में हम मेमोरेंडम में भी देखें तो हम रजिस्टर्ड एड्रेस नहीं मेंशन करते हैं. तो जब उन्होंने एड्रेस चेंज करना होता है सिर्फ फॉर्म 21 आता है. इसमें पार्टनरशिप एग्रीमेंट भी उनको चेंज करना पड़ेगा क्योंकि उसमें भी क्लियरली लिखा होता है कि ये बिजनेस ऑफिस एड्रेस है, इसलिए और ज़्यादा डिफिकल्ट हो रहा है.
There's a comment rather from Amar Lohano who's saying, as a request, please update the SECP incorporation screens, as we've seen those screens since 2010. Maybe something that we should take back. Okay.
Is he talking about the one that were in the presentation? If that's so, that's not possible because our act was introduced in 2017. So these requirements were not existing before.
So Yasir Khan is asking a question. He's saying, is it necessary to write business activity with the name? For example, I want to register a company named Enroll, ENROL. So would it be ENROL Private Limited or ENROL Consulting Private Limited? I prefer without consulting, as I want to establish the brand as Enroll.
As per Section 26 of Companies Act, it is mandatory to use the company name should include the business.
So Yasir, I'm afraid you'll have to use the word consulting in the name. Fahad Abdul Malik is saying, within how many days can we deposit the paid up capital in the bank?
It has to be deposited within 30 days of company incorporation. And then when you're filing Form 1, it has to be filed within 45 days, and the auditor gives certificate that the amount has been actually deposited in the bank.
Muhammad Rehan Anjum is asking, how can the status of a company be changed from unlisted to listed in the process?
Okay, then there's multiple listing requirements. As desired, they'll be emailed to you for later on.
Yeah, okay. So Rehan, you can send us an email and we can get you the complete process afterwards. Sajid Latif, please explain how we can register an NGO under Section 42. Is it mentioned? It is mentioned that we need to register a company public. We need to, I think there's an English form. We need to register the company under public limited company and then apply for the license. Is that correct?
No, you first have to get the name reserved, and then you have to get license from head office. लाइसेंस इशू होने के साथ ही मेमोरेंडम वहाँ से अप्रूव होता है. वो अप्रूव्ड मेमोरेंडम विद लाइसेंस की कॉपी आप रजिस्ट्रेशन के लिए फिर सीआरओ में अप्लाई करते हैं. So second step after name reservation is to obtain the license.
And is there a role that PCP, which is Pakistan Center for Philanthropy, they play in the registration process for Section 42 company?
No.
No, it's an independent process, and SECP independently sort of goes through the entire process. Yeah.
I'm from SECP.
I will skip over the wire.
Yeah.
Okay. Saab bin Tariq is saying, is there any facilitation officer available in SECP for general queries, or is there any help desk available? You mentioned there's online support available as well for queries.
Yeah, we have
is there a chatbot available or something?
No, you can simply enter your queries and they'll be answered later on. Otherwise, the office where there's a facilitation officer, he actually helps you out with all the entry of the company incorporation process. And then for further, after post-incorporation requirements, you can go to any dealing registrar. They all are there for facilitation.
Asad Mahmood is asking, what is the process of adding more members post-incorporation?
For that, either you existing members can transfer their share to some other person to include a new member, or they can further issue capital. There are two separate processes. In case they want to increase the paid up capital, for that they have to further issue the shares, or simply to increase the number of members. They can be done either ways, either through transfer of shares to a new member or issuance of new shares.
Zishan Abdul Rahman is saying, what does the first schedule of Companies Act mean?
It means the articles of association for different type of companies.
Articles for all type of companies.
Okay. Wasim, I hope you understood that. If not, send us the details and we'll get you an answer through email. Imran Khan, I hope not the Prime Minister, but saying what will be the procedure to change the address and addition or deletion of a director? What is the question?
File Form 21 for change in address, and for change in director, they have to file Form 29. Simply, if there's a new director coming in, you have to file Form 29 for that. But there are multiple scenarios. If he is already a member and now being appointed as a director, you simply have to file Form 29. Otherwise, if he's not a shareholder, first you have to give him shares, and then. And for in case of resignation of director, you have to file Form 29 with his resignation letter and an affidavit from the signatory of Form 29.
Is there a board resolution required in this case?
No, board resolution is not required because the authorized signatory of Form 29 has been authorized by the board.
Okay. The next question from Omar Said is saying, can we check our company's year-end online?
Yeah.
During for most of the companies is 30th June. Basically, if they have if they have some special permission from bank authorities that they want to have a special year-end, then this is a like
Is that permissible?
yeah, that is permissible. If you have permission from the bank authorities, then we simply accept it. Otherwise, it is
30th June.
Yeah.
But if you want to have a special, you need to go to FBR first,
Yeah,
get their permission, and then do
exactly.
that. Next is from Ali Zahir Mir, and you know who that is, and he's saying, please share with us the annual filing requirements for a private limited company and the timing, i.e. required forms and their due dates of submission.
Annually, they have to file Form 29 for appointment of auditor, and in case of elections, they also have to report it after every 3 years. And then they have to file Form A for annual general meeting. That has to be filed within 120 days of closing of financial year. AGM actually has to be conducted within 120 days of closing of financial year. Appointment of auditor.
Just Form 29, sorry.
Form 29 for reappointment of auditor or appointment of new auditor, and Form A for annual general meeting.
Okay, Mohammed Farooq is saying, how can we enhance companies' authorized capital of private limited company?
You have to file Form 7 and Form 26 for increase in authorized capital. Form 26 is the members' resolution to increase the authorized capital. And Form 7 contains the additional details like how much capital is being increased.
Okay. Mohammed Farooq is asking a question. I'm not sure if I got the question right. He's saying, can we change the share price of any private limited company?
Yes, you can. I think it's a Form 6.
Form 6.
Form 6. You can file for the change in face value through Form 6.
Okay. The next question is from Fahad Abdul Malik. He's saying, if we didn't deposit initial paid up capital within 30 days of incorporation, is there any penalty that we have to bear?
Penalty.
Your shares can be cancelled. So that is the ultimate penalty. The law says that the shares can be cancelled, like the company can be deregistered. But if you haven't submitted the paid up capital, you must do so as soon as possible. Penalty varies.
And is there a possibility in which an extension can be granted to the 30-day process?
There is no provision there's no provision of any extension.
Okay. All right. Mohammed Farooq is asking, how is registration of a company, of a group of company, different from registration of private limited company?
Group company has to be have a certain set of companies already registered with SECP. In that case, they can form a group company over it.
Okay. Muhammad Junaid Yunus Wari, who also was working at SECP at the head office, saying there are easy exit regulations, yet small and medium companies are experiencing problem to close their business. Why is it that such companies, why is it so complicated to shut down businesses? Sorry, you, Junaid, I introduced you before without your permission, but
It's not like complicated for every company. There's certain requirements. If a company has already certain assets or liabilities that we can see through examination of the company's file, like there is already a charge registered, or we can see that the company was actually undergoing some real estate business. In that case, they are not allowed to do so. Otherwise, the process is quite easy.
Basically, this should be like a bit of like a time that we should be taking, because we need to make sure there are no liabilities or no encumbrances attached. Because if we close the company, we register a legal entity, so that company can't be sued afterwards. So we have to make sure we give ads in the major newspapers from time to time. This company has filed in this application, so if you have any outstanding dues, you need to intimate SECP within this much time period.
be it a bank or
Exactly.
private investor.
Exactly.
And if somebody misses that ad,
Obviously, like ignorance is no excuse.
you must read newspaper. Correct. Okay. Next question, I think Junaid once again added, he said private limited companies especially. So I think Junaid, you would have gotten the answer. We're moving on to the next question. Can a listed company be converted to unlisted? And if so, please guide the process.
Yeah. Basically, it will have to be delisted by Pakistan Stock Exchange. After that, it is an unlisted company. Once you go through the procedure of delisting, then you are an unlisted company.
Muhammad Kashif is saying, please also advise whether approval of board of directors is needed for further issue of capital of a private company.
It is mandatory.
Mandatory. Okay. Muhammad Irfan Zafar is saying, is it necessary that a company name should give an impression of the company's operation? I think we've discussed that, and the answer is yes. Umar said, sorry, you were cutting out. Can you please guide on how to change the company year end to December? Thank you. I'm sorry, you have to repeat the FPR thing again.
Basically, what you have to do is you will have to seek permission from FPR for a special tax year. Once you have gotten that, you can file an application with the registrar, concerned registrar, that we have obtained approval from FPR. Now, please change our tax year to the year into so date.
Okay. Omar, I hope you got it this time. Imran is saying, I'm not taking the full name, it's Imran Khan again. Every company must file financial statement according to 2017 Act, which dates they file, using abbreviations. If you got the question, you can answer. Otherwise, I'll ask Mr. Imran Khan, honorary.
Here it goes. A company which has, basically there are the three types of private limited companies defined in the Companies Act 2017. Company having paid of capital less than 1 million, company having paid of capital from 1 to 10 million, and 10 million and above. Companies having paid of capital less than 1 million are only required to file unaudited financial statements. Company having capital from ranging from 1 to 10 are not required to file any sort of audit accounts. 10 million above are required to file complete audited financial statements, and these need to be filed within 4 months, within 120 days of the year end, of the respective year end.
this right? Muhammad Farooq is asking the next question. He's saying, I have already 3 companies. Can I register a new entity by the name Farooq Group of Companies?
Or we'll have to check the
Availability of name.
availability of name.
Okay, all right. So subject to availability of name, it is for this.
Yeah.
One question. Can the spelling change work or not? Like
No.
you have,
No.
you or double O.
No.
No.
The phonetic resemblance is still there.
there's
Yeah.
Okay, and Farooq further says that all my companies will all my companies be a part of this group of companies?
Yeah. Once you're registered this company with us, you will have to seek and basically approval from head office. So you will have to file an application, seek approval. This company will be the parent company to all these companies. Okay. Once you have that,
So this approval comes from the registrar,
from the headquarters, SECP.
SECP headquarters.
Yeah.
Muhammad Khurram is saying, what is the difference between a company and a real estate investment trust?
Between a company and a real estate investment trust. Okay. Here it goes. A company can initiate a project that is a real estate investment trust. Basically, you need to understand what a REIT is. REIT is basically a vehicle to where different sort of real estate investment. Like basically, this is a real estate investment class which has been, how should I define it? This is a real estate investment class in which you can actually invest through a real estate investment trust. As we know, like real estate investment is very amounts to a very large investment. So everyone can't invest on its own. It is not divisible. So through this real estate investment trust, you can invest. But this can be a company can initiate a real estate investment or trust. A real estate management company is like a construction company who develops different sort of projects. So this is a specialized company. It needs to be licensed from the specialized companies division, Islamabad.
Okay. All right, Muhammad Farooq was continuing with his previous question saying, can a group of companies just change a name or a new entity is required? You said there's a new entity required for group of companies. Once that is done, then the head office gives an approval for forming a group of companies. Okay. Waqar Alam is saying, is there a difference in requirement of incorporation of company in special economic zones? So, for example, CPEC or
So far, there
is no change. But is this change on the cards because of the advent of CPEC?
The law says subject to permission from the federal government.
Okay.
So far, federal government is approving each and every application.
Okay. And when you say the federal government, which particular department? The economic division, the foreign affairs division, which?
Economic division.
The economic division approves. Fahad Abdul Malik is saying, is one of the directors of private limited company transferred its shares to foreign company, and also considerations have been received. Is there any compliances we need to fulfill further by foreign affairs?
No. Basically, if the person has transferred his shares to a foreign entity, the company needs to make sure that before the foreign entity is made a part of its register of members, it needs to be cleared by the Ministry of Interior. It needs a security clearance. So you have to submit a specific set of documents with
SECP, which again needs to be forwarded to Ministry of Interior for clearance.
All right, I think we've almost reached the end of questions. A couple more questions, but before that, a few comments. Omar Said is saying thank you, and Naeem Malik said thank you very much for the session. Muhammad Asil Malik asked a question: is it possible to change the status of a company from SMC to foreign branch?
No.
No.
Basically, foreign branch in SMC is a locally operating company registered and incorporated in Pakistan.
Yeah.
Foreign branch is a company registered outside Pakistan, and it is not being incorporated in Pakistan. It is just being registered with us because it has a contractual obligation to fulfill in Pakistan for a specific time period. So for that time period, a foreign branch office is registered with us. So it can't operate locally. Okay.
Okay. Omar is saying thank you very much. You are very helpful. So one more question: and are there any deadlines for changing year end? For example, last date for changing year end to December 2019. How much
You have already
advance?
passed your
What is
deadline.
it?
Basically, the main deadline is 30th June. Okay. So we assume until otherwise, 30th June is your year end. You have to do it before 30th June.
Okay.
You have to make sure okay, they say tax office won't be providing you the approval letter. If you do it now, if you do it now,
So,
because they will be saying okay, you are just stalling, you are just fencing now. Okay, so you have to prove to obtain that approval letter. You have to prove to FPR this is your year end and you can't do 30th June. Okay, so for that
you're just trying to push the deadline.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is not possible.
Yeah.
Okay, Shafaq Jamil is asking, she missed the first 15 minutes. Shafaq, you will get the certificate, and in that certificate email, you will get a link to the video recording of this session, as well as the presentation, a link to the presentation that has been delivered. Bakar is saying that he's not able to download the handout. Bakar, like I said, you will get a link through email from where you'll be able to download this handout. Mohammed Bhatt is saying thank you, Faisal Farooq. Thank you, very useful session. Murtaza, whether a partnership fund can be registered in SECP as partnership business?
Can be registered as a limited liability partnership.
As LLP, all right. And Umar is saying thank you so much to ACCA and SECP. Excellent webinar. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you for taking time out. And I hope all the members present here. Any questions? You mind me said I've got 2 minutes left. No? Oh, okay.
Okay, जो financial statements filing के लिए आपने बताया था threshold 1 million, the capital से low है और not
Yeah.
1 million जो है the price capital है
Paid up. It is always the paid up capital. Authorized is just a notional amount. It is always the paid up capital.
Authorized capital just हमारे लिए test होगा जब हमने fee calculate है.
Exactly.
Otherwise,
the paid up can't exceed the authorized capital. Okay.
If we register a business with one name and want to create a brand name for a product, will we have to register that name also? So now
Let me give you an example. Cool Industries Private Limited is the owner of brand name Waves. Waves is not registered anywhere with SCP. Okay. It is a trademark. You have to register Waves as a trademark.
It's separate one.
With the trademark registration. Okay. Yeah.
just like domain names of websites are internationally regulated,
Yeah.
you cannot have the same domain name. Similarly, you cannot have a trade name also. Is it?
You cannot have a similar trade name, but here we have like we are a bit more stringent on these. Like there's AFC, there's KFC, there's BFC, but we won't allow. If we have KFC Pakistan, we won't allow AFC and BFC. Okay, because adding a
Small alphabetical change.
alphabet doesn't make any difference to the whole name.
Great, thank you very much, and thank you very much to all the participants. I think this was an interesting and interactive session. For any further queries and questions, there were about 2 or 3 questions that were not answered. So I would encourage the members to send me an email, and I will forward this to the respective speakers to get an answer for you. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and let me switch off the webinar to inshallah see you next time. Thank you.
Are we all set?
Close.